Hello everyone, welcome back into another learning. So let us continue with in-text citations. Remember, we have started and I introduced for you what does it mean, these in-text citations, and I have stopped when there are two authors. So today, let me start with when there are three or more authors, group authors with abbreviations, and group and the next thing is multiple works by same author in the same year, and citing multiple sources in one parenthesis. Now, let us go and talk about when citing three or more authors. Into your notes or into your documents, when you are making your documents and you are getting the informations, you are citing the informations from three or more authors, here is how you can do in the APA format. For three or more authors, the APA 57 editions simplifies the citations by using et al. Et al. After the first author's name. And there are two formats that you can use, in the parenthetical way or in the narrative way or format. In the parenthetical way, remember, everything is in the bracket, and in the narrative way, it is only the year which is in the bracket. The author's names are outside. Let us see this example. In the parenthetical way or format, we open the bracket, Smith at al, full stop, comma, 2020, you close the bracket, assuming you are citing or getting the information from Smith and the other authors, the other more authors. You put this format. When you are using the narrative format or narrative way, Smith et al. Is outside, full stop, then the year is in the bracket, 2020. Found that urbanizations affects birds' migration patterns. That is citing citing the work of three or more authors. Now, let us proceed again. What about if you are citing group authors with abbreviations? So we have many group authors, many organizations that have abbreviations. So here it is this if the source is authored by a group or organizations with a recognizable abbreviations, cite the full name the first time followed by the abbreviations. Use the abbreviations in subsequent citations. Now let us look at it. In the first citations, when dealing with the full name and including the abbreviations. Here in the parenthetical way, you open the bracket, assuming our organization is World Health Organizations. You open the bracket, then write World Health Organizations. You open another bracket, you write the abbreviated form WHO, close the bracket, then comma, 2020, close the bracket. That one is in parenthetical way. What about in the narrative way? In the narrative way here, you let the name of the organizations outside, then you only include the abbreviated name of that organizations and the year. Like for example, here it is saying World Health Organizations, open the bracket, the abbreviated name is WHO, comma, 2020, you close the bracket. And that is how you cite the organization, group organizations with abbreviations. Now, what about when you want a subsequent citations, when you want to cite only the abbreviated name for the World Health Organization, assuming you don't want to write all the words? Here is also still the way how you can do it. In the parenthetical way, you open the bracket, you write the abbreviated name. For example, World Health Organization, you write WHO, comma, 2020, you close the bracket. In the narrative way, you write WHO outside, then you let the only year to be in the brackets. That is how to deal with the group authors with abbreviations. Now, let us proceed and see what about when there are multiple works, when the multiple works by the same author in the same year. Let me repeat the questions. How to cite when there is multiple works by the same authors in the same year. Here is a well-explained things for you. When citing multiple works by the same author, published in the same year, distinguish them by adding lowercase letters. For example, we have A, B, C, and so on to the year. So here is the format. In the parenthetical way, remember in the parenthetical way, everything is in the bracket. So you will open the bracket, write the author, you separate by comma, then you write the year, then that lowercase letter A. Or you can write, open the bracket, write author, comma, year, B. Close the bracket. That one is in parenthetical way. What about in narrative way? In narrative way, the name of the author is outside, then the year is in the bracket plus that lowercase letter. If it is A, then A. If it is B, then B. And let us see the example here. In the parenthetical way, you open the bracket, Smith, comma, 2020, then the lowercase letter A with semicolon, Smith, comma, 2020, B. Close the bracket. This is when the Smith have multiple works in the same year. So you are seeing here, it is Smith who has published his work in 2020. Again, it is the Smith who has published another work, the same work. Okay, the multiple works in that same year. So you just separate them with a lowercase letter. In the narrative format, also, you know how to do it. The name outside, the year, and the lowercase letter included in the bracket. And you continue with the statement that he has made. And the next thing here is citing multiple sources in one parenthesis. When citing multiple sources in one parenthesis, so what does it mean? So how could you do it? So here is the answer. To cite multiple sources in one parenthetical citations, comma, list them alphabetically by the first author's last name, comma, separated by semicolons. For example, this is the format. In the format here, you open the bracket, author, you write author 1, comma, the year, the semicolon, then author 2, comma, and the year. You all close the bracket. So look at the example to guide you very well. In the parenthetical order, everything is in the bracket. You write Johnson, comma, 2019, semicolon, Smith, comma, 2020. This means that this is multiple source in one parenthesis, and this suggests that what Johnson into bracket 2019 and Smith into bracket 2020 contributed to the research on climate policy. So this is how you can cite when citing multiple sources in one parenthesis, and this marks the end of in-text citations that we have been looking for. And let me hope from the beginning up to the end you have mastered something, and if you fail to understand, please feel free and go through this video again. The best thing is that I have the slides for you. You can look at them, follow them very well, so that to give you deeper understanding in your work. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe so that you don't miss anything out. Thank you for watching. See you next time.